Now, across in the United States, the Democrats under Joe Biden are doing plenty to upset the apple cart. As you know, I've held great fears about what they might do, and the early signs are very ominous indeed. The official documentation has been presented now for the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. You don't have to defend Trump's behaviour to understand this is pretty unwise. Impeaching a former president when you're supposed to be trying to unite the country. This is ugly. And it could backfire for the Democrats too, because instead of allowing Trump to slink away with his reputation in ruins, it could turn him into a political martyr. Really, Biden and the Democrats, they've got a country to run. I'd drop this stuff. But even more importantly is the sorts of wild policy proposals coming from the loopy left, including from the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
I think it might be a good idea for President Biden to call a climate emergency.
Why?
Because it relates to what you're saying. Then he can do many, many things under the emergency powers of the president that wouldn't have to go through, that he could do without legislation. Now, Trump used this emergency for a stupid wall, which wasn't an emergency. But if there ever was an emergency, climate is one. So I would suggest that they explore looking at climate as an emergency, which would give them more flexibility. After all, it's a crisis. It's a crisis.
Oh dear, be afraid, be very afraid. And I don't mean of the climate, well, perhaps of the political climate. Wait and see how many in the media call out this sort of proposal for use of emergency powers when they called out Trump for using the same powers. I think you'll find a divergence in responses.